Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
Welcome to the show, guys. Today we have the Pink Coach on, Claudine Pereira. Claudine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Mike, and so happy to be here from snowy Canada. So not sure where all your listeners are listening from today, but I'm in Toronto, Canada, and we just got dumped on yesterday, 30 centimeters of snow. So if you like the winter, come visit in Canada. I'm an immigrant from England, and I left England 30 years ago this month with 2 suitcases, $150 in my pocket, and no job. And I literally made, as we would say, lemonade out of lemons. I spent 20 years in the corporate sector. I was trained as a coach, sales coach. I led multiple teams across Canada. And then in 2014, I was blessed to start my own coaching and consulting company. And we just celebrated our 10th anniversary last year.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of like who do you work with and what do you do for them? How do you help them?
So I have 2 sets of clients. One are entrepreneurs, so they're running their own business, and we help them to look at all of the different things that go into running the operations of a business. The things that most business owners will say, I don't like to look at my finances. I'm afraid to sell. How do I network? What do I do when I go out and I meet somebody? So we work in tandem with the clients to help them put a plan together, strategic focus for the year, and then 90-day focuses to help them to grow their businesses and scale. If they've been in business 5 years and longer, that's when we're really looking at scaling. So I work with successful business owners that have been in business around 3 to 5 years and are just looking for that pinch more. They just, they've had some success, but they just need a little bit more of it and some more money in the bank. So that's one side of my business. The other side is leadership. So I'm a big proponent of leadership, and I work with leaders that are leading teams in organizations, mainly in the financial sector. So I've got a few insurance companies, a bank, and however, they all have one thing in common. They are coaching and leading teams for results. And that's where I come in to help them to do that.
That's amazing. I'm curious.
Yeah.
So from my calculation, you were in Canada for about 20 years before you decided to start your coaching business, and you were in the corporate world. I'm
Correct.
curious, why did it take you 20 years to decide to make that shift? Is it something you've always been wanting to do as a kid, or did it just pop up?
No,
Okay.
Not at all. It was interesting. When I worked in England, I worked at the Prudential. And so I fell back into financial services and insurance. And I was a real, 9 to 5, going in early, paycheck, routine individual, getting my bonuses. Entrepreneurship, I had no interest in entrepreneurship at all because it petrified me. It didn't even come to my mind. Growing up, I wanted to be a vet. And then I love, you and I have talked, didn't we, Mike? You love cats, I love cats. And so I didn't end up doing my dream job, but it was funny when I was leaving the bank in 2014, a few people, I was a single mom, there's some backstory to some of this when my ex took off and left me with my 9-10-year-old. I was faced with some difficult choices to make. And some people that I had been working with said to me, why could you still mentor us? We'll pay you. And I said, sure. And that's how it began. That's how it began. And I hired somebody who's still with me to this day, who helped me to create my brand. I have very, very strong brand presence online. I go out to events and people know who I am and say, oh yeah, I've seen you online. You're everywhere. You're doing this. You're speaking here. You're doing keynotes. So it's been an interesting journey, and that's how the Pink Coach was born, just out of people saying, yeah, you're so good at this. That being said, the first 2 years were really hard. It was never in my makeup to be an entrepreneur. especially, if any other coaches are listening to this, you'll relate. Like, it's hard. It's not easy. Let me tell you. So there you go.
So definitely, that's an amazing story. Most people is they feel like they're born with that entrepreneurial energy, and it's like something that you had to go into. It was, I don't want to say it came and you accepted it, and I think that's amazing.
Oh, it was, sometimes when you're going, so Winston Churchill, one of the old prime ministers in England, he said, when you're going through hell, keep going. And that's what I did. So when I talk, I'm sure we're going to talk about my book in a moment, but when I talk about resilience in my keynotes, and I talk about, discipline and determination, all of that stemmed from the dance world. And so going into corporate, very disciplined. Again, being a business owner is not easy. So any entrepreneurs that listening that tune into you, like, it's hard, and you have to have a certain discipline. People are looking for a show. I could get up every single day and stay in my pajamas and lie around in bed, and guess what? I won't have a business. You have to work at it, and it's hard, but I love it. I would not have it any other way. I say that, God gave me an ugly gift, but behind it was my beautiful business.
I think that's amazing. I'm curious, so it's been 10 years since you started the business. How early into that journey did you embrace social media? And also how much of a help, how much of a boost has social media been for your business?
It's been huge. Right from the get-go, I was on social media. Luckily, I had someone that created my brand presence. So if you look me up, The Pink Coach, if you find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, there's a consistent brand message there. I'm very structured in my work and very formal and strategic. However, I have a fun side to me, and I've always wanted that to kind of come out in my brand with a lot of colors and not taking myself too seriously. But right from the get-go, social media has been an absolute gift. Right at the beginning, anytime I go to an event, I take a picture and I post it to say I'm here or I'm there. And here I am 10 years later, I've got, pretty good, decent following. And people like to see, like, we post about business stuff, but then we also post about, if I'm at an event, or you might see a picture of my cat Smokey on there. So it does get mixed up. But how I know, because you might say, well, how do you know that it's working? Like, I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about social media, someone might be saying. People are watching. I had a client who came to me, another fellow coach, and we were connected. And she said to me, I've been stalking you. And I said, get out of here. I said, we know so many of the same people. And she said, I've been stalking you for 8 years. 8 years. And so if I had stopped posting, guess what? The stalking would have stopped. So she hired me to help her with her coaching business. She's a change management coach. She's brilliant. And she was stalking me. She'd never commented on a post. She'd never liked anything, but she was watching. And it was the same way I actually got a corporate gig for the bank, was through somebody I used to work with, again, that stalked me, never said anything, but referred me to their HR person. And they had just been watching me online. I'll go to events and people will say, wow, do you sleep? You've been everywhere. You were here today, then you were over there, then I saw you here. So people are watching. Oh, you're frozen.
No, you're back. I think you're back. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. Great.
I lost you. I lost you. People said you're everywhere.
Yeah, people say I'll be speaking at an event. I was at a Black History Month event last week, and someone said, you are all over the place. I don't know how you keep up. Do you sleep? And I said, yes, and I get up early. What's your secret? I said, I go to bed by 10. Okay. So yes, so to answer your question, social media right from the get-go, it is a must. Where, especially for business owners, you have to have it. I know people say, well, I don't want to be on social. I don't want to show my personal life. You don't have to, but you need to have a presence. If someone's going to, the first thing when I found you guys is I checked you out. I looked it up. I saw what you're doing. You got a viable business? Are you on LinkedIn? People are watching. It is such a critical piece. And if you don't have it, you should, and you should be everywhere on it. You don't need to be glued to it. Like, I never go on Facebook. We post on there, but I don't go out and hang out on there. But I like LinkedIn. So yes, it does work.
It definitely does work. One thing that people, or the audience who are listening might be skeptical about in terms of social media is like
Yeah.
managing. How do you manage all that? Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. What is your secret? How do you manage all that?
Well, I don't. Someone does it for me.
That's
So
amazing.
I have. Well, I have she's great. She's been working with doing my posts for years. Now the only thing that I manage are my stories, because I can do those off the cuff. Take me 2 seconds. That's my little bit of fun. But I kind of just feed her content. She gets my newsletters, and then she posts, and people say, well, you shouldn't, that's a lot of money. And I say, well, it's costing me. I don't even know what she's posted today, but I've been working all day making money with my clients, and that's been done behind the scenes. So, again, I'm not saying that you need to have the time to do it if you're an entrepreneur and you're listening, but you can hire a company to do it for you. Right? Hire someone to do your videos like you guys do. Hire someone because videos speak volumes, and most people are petrified to do it. But get someone to do it for you. Again, depending where you are in your business, you should have it right from the very start, because people are watching. But delegate it. I don't have time to do it. Just delegate it out.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a common theme. We have coaches on here is like, they want to focus so much on delivering to their clients and going to their meetings and making sure their clients are in the right place. But they also have this dilemma of, I want to be on social media and I want to do this. And the thing about most coaches is like, some of them are perfectionists in a sense. They want to do everything by themselves. But they get to a point where they realize, oh no, it can't be. I can't have all this. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So it gets to that point, and it's like they then realize, man, I might have to delegate this. I might have to hire an agency or company to just help me take this out of my hands and project my plan forward while I deal with everything else. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's where you step in, right? That's where you step in, and you guys can do it for us. So, but yeah, it's definitely, I would say, if you're listening and you're a coach and going, oh my God, I need social media, or I don't like it, just get someone to do it for you. Just hire a company like you guys to do it all, just to do it all. And it gives you credibility, especially in the coaching world. Coaching is a hard nut to crack. It really is, because there's so many of us. You got life coaches, you've got, I'm certified both in sales, life and leadership, but you've got so many different styles of coaching. And so we're kind of fighting against an industry that gets a bit of a bad rap. So you really need to do a great job of getting your brand out there.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
I'm curious, you said you're on social media a lot, you've been on there for like years. How do you usually get your clients? Is it mostly through social media? Do you do it organically? Do you do a lot of marketing? Do you get a lot of referrals? I imagine referrals are big. Tell me, how does that work?
So, and I think this has changed during my journey. I think social media, and I suppose it depends what you're selling. Like, for me, I don't sell online courses, so I can't say, well, I've converted through social media. But if you're doing online courses, it's a great way to do that, like through ads. My business now comes organically after 10 years. I pounded the pavement at the beginning. I did vendor shows, and then I, sort of tied all that in with social media to showcase my whole journey. But now my business really does come from referrals from my clients, people that have seen me that know somebody that has experienced my work and will refer to me. Google as well is a big one. I get found on Google a lot. If someone will type in business coach or leadership coach. My corporate gigs have come all by way of word of mouth, because someone knew me and knows my work and knows that I work with this company, and they've seen their good results, and guess what? They want a piece of that. So social media, it definitely plays a role. And I think that, we look so hard at, oh, no one's liked it, or the post didn't get much traction. Again, we forget that people are still watching.
Yeah.
I've proven that. I use these stories time and time again, that people are watching me, and I would never have known it, because they don't say, oh, hey, great job. So, and I'll give an example of that. So my Tammy reposted a TV interview that I've done around my book. She reposted it this week, and a young lady had seen it. This is a second repost of this said TV video. And a young lady that I'd worked with in the past saw it. She emailed me last night. She goes, "Oh my God, I saw your interview. It was great. It's been a while since can we talk about maybe getting back on the coaching bandwagon?" And that was from that post.
Amazing. Amazing.
Right.
And it probably had maybe like 500, 1,000 views.
I actually haven't checked. I haven't had a chance to go on and check. But yeah, any videos, I would say my reels and any videos and the TV shows have proven to be so massively successful, to the point where my insights huge. I picked up new followers because it attracts unfollowers. I even looked at my Amazon sales for my book. And the day I did 2 separate TV interviews, the days that they were posted, my book spiked. And again, you can tell where they bought the book from. You don't know who it is, but the day that those interviews aired, my books were sold.
The analytics, yeah, amazing. Let me ask you, like, obviously you're a coach, right? You deal with people who are entrepreneurs and all that. But what is your message, I would say? What is your message, especially on social media? What is your message, if you know what I mean? What is that message you're giving out to people who are necessarily not even like your clients? That message, that inspirational thing that you want to get out, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. So I think that, I'll say this, the road to success is always paved with many obstacles. And we look at all these superstars and think, oh, look, they've got it easy, and they don't. They've all been through their stuff. So definitely. I'm not one of these people to go on and go, oh, woe me. The message I like to get across is one of, if I can do it, and I'm just a young, nobody from the UK, shy child that wouldn't speak at a young age, you can do this. And so I try to give a lot of hope and inspiration through my messaging. Obviously advertising for I've got a couple of speaking gigs coming up for International Women's Day. So you'll see ads for that. I do share like my story in dance because it's powerful. I show that I love cats. It shows that I have a heart, right? Like I want to show that softer side of myself through my social media, as well as the strategic side, right? So you can, and that way, so that's how I found my ideal clients. They're attracted to that. They're attracted to me because, not that I just look good or young for my age, but what I'm saying is that they see that strategic piece and go, I want some of that. I know who her clients are. And, I highlight and share my clients' journeys all the time with their permission. I highlight other people's businesses. I'm big on community and sharing and networking. So all of those things combined are my strategy in terms of attracting who my ideal clients are.
I think that's amazing. I think, you've almost like got it figured out. It's working for you. The systems are in place. That's amazing.
Yes, and I think we overthink it sometimes. So many of my clients say, I don't know what to post. What do you want to attract? Right? What you post out about and what you send out is going to come back to you, right? So it's very interesting. Like, I don't go running around saying I'm a Christian, Church of England, but I do post things. I'll post like a poem or something from the Bible or someone that I follow. And interestingly enough, I would say 80% of my client base are believers in something. I'd say probably 50 or 60 are Christian. And they didn't hire me. They don't even know that. Somehow it comes to me. So whatever, again, you get out, you're going to come back with, or they're believers in something. So that's a theme and a trend with my clients.
That's amazing. Social media has its way of, getting the right people to you,
Oh,
Let me ask you this. Obviously 2024, I don't know how 2024 was for you. You can tell me how good it was or how bad it was, or what are you looking to grow? But 2025, looking forward, what is one of your main goals for your business in 2025?
Yeah, my biggest goal this year, and of course I have a coach. I work with a coach who's amazing. Shout out to Judy, who I've been with forever, and she's not leaving me and I'm not leaving her. We goal set until it's coming out of our ears. However, I really fine tune it down to 1 or 2 big things I want to do for the year at this stage of my business. And the biggest one is to get my book sold and out there, and to book more keynotes. with my book. So if you're listening and you're looking for a keynote speaker, my word this year is ask. So I'm asking, I have a beautiful keynote that is altered for the audience, that goes along with the book. I've got a company that's actually buying some books with the keynote to give to their participants. So that's my big audacious goal for this year.
Speaking gigs.
Yeah, it's a book. Do more gigs with my book, 7 C's of Leadership Mastery.
Tell us more about the book.
Pardon me?
Tell us more about the book.
Yeah, so this book, I took about a year to write it. So 2024 was a great revenue year, and just to sort of back up the train, coaches, it took me 5 years, actually, maybe 6 to hit 6 figures. It was not easy, right? You got to put your prices up for sure, but don't price yourself out of business. So 2024 was an amazing revenue year, but the book cost me so much. So I have to dial back on my expenses now. But the 7 C's of Leadership was really born around my passion for leadership, and the leaders that I coach in business and, who work for organizations. And I chose the 7 words that began with the letter C, and the play on the C is, leadership is not linear, right? So the 7 C's, so it's like C is in, the C, which sort of goes into the cover. And I picked 7 words that I felt were the most important when it comes to leadership. So communication, compassion, creativity, credibility, change, courage, and customer experience. And I wanted a book that was very, this is my working copy when I make changes. I wanted a working book that someone could just get and chuck in their bag. They can earmark, they can read it in any order. I talk about my personal journey at the beginning into business, dance, coming to Canada, and each section has a little worksheet at the back, so you can make some notes, your own action plan.
It's amazing.
Pretty cool. It has a lot of case studies in there, has a lot of real, lot of theory, but fun. Someone said to me, it sounds like you. When I read the book, it sounds like you. And that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a book to speak to, not just if you're a leader now, but maybe an unsung leader, somebody that feels always overlooked and bypassed, and that you don't, Robin Sharma says it the best, you don't need to have leader in your title to be a leader. Anybody can lead. Anybody can lead, and that's what this book is about. It's for, and actually one of the gentlemen he was a beta reader of mine, and Chris Marshall, he's in the States, he's a retired sales manager for a Fortune 100 company. And he said it's a good read for leaders new to their craft and those of us who have been around a while and could use a bit of course correction. So huge compliment from him in terms of how the book and how it's helped. So that's really what it is. It's a refresher, it's a reminder. And of course I could write more, maybe I'll do a version 2, but that's what I talk about in my keynotes. So, whether for International Women's Day, my theme is going to be, I think the theme for one of the conferences is called The Power of You. And so I'm going to be talking about leadership, and I'm going to choose 3 really heavy hitting themes from the book. One of them will definitely be around resilience in leadership and resilience in your life. And how do you navigate that as a leader without, when troubles hit and you still have a business to run, what are you going to do? You're going to go cry on Facebook and say, oh my God, or you're going to pick yourself up and insert your resilience and your discipline. And how do you do that? So it's tailor-made depending on the audience. So yeah, I love it. My labor of love. Sometimes I look at it and I can't believe that was I did this. Like it freaks me out sometimes. I look at it. I don't know if you have any kids. My daughter Courtney's 27 now, and when she was born, I would look at her going, "I made this. How did that happen?" And it's like that with the book. I look at it and go, "Was that me? That's my name on the cover. Like, how did I do this?"
I was just about to say that this book must be like a baby to you. I was literally just about to say that.
Yeah. And actually, I think that's the first time, and I've done a lot of interviews since the book, that I've actually said that it's like a baby, but now I've articulated it. So there you go.
Hope the daughter doesn't get jealous, though.
No. Oh yeah, no, she's my biggest fan. She's such a, when she read the first, there was a couple of, things get missed, right? When you're reading and reading and reading and editing, and I had a great editor, and then, you miss things. You've read it so much, stuff get missed. And she called me, Mommy, I could cry. I said, what happened? Your book. I said, why? What? It's no good. She goes, no, first few pages, there's mistakes, Mommy. The first chapter, people are going to look at you and go, oh my God. I said, oh child, don't worry about that. We just, you're always going to be ridiculed, or someone's always going to have something to say. We make mistakes, but you know what? That's okay. Put out the work, do a version 2, and the version 2 will be better, which we have. We've made edits to the errors, and now when you go, you'll get a version 2 that's much better. So
definitely
don't worry about that. It's not about perfection. And that's what I love with my work, is that, I am not perfect. People look at me and think, oh God, you online, you look like you've got it all together. And I said, well, I do. I'm very structured and organized. I said, but mark my word when I tell you, I have my stresses. It gets harder. 10 years, you're like, okay, now what? How do I keep the momentum going? I'm aging. I look like a spring chicken and I feel like one, but the body gets tired. So I'm like, okay, how can I make the same revenue, but maybe work a little less hours? And that's where my coach comes in to help me. So, it's not all perfect over here. And if anybody in business tells you, oh yeah, it gets easier, oh, it's a piece of cake, they're lying to you. They're lying through their teeth.
Definitely. Being an entrepreneur, I mean, you get to do what you love. That's one thing. You get a bit of freedom, in terms of a vocation and, timing and all that. But it's not easy. And if it was, everyone would do it.
Oh, you stole that line from me, didn't you? Because I said the same thing, right? You stole it. Because I say the exact same thing. I said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
But I like hard. And I think that's the thing. I think we're in an age now, and I don't know about where you are, but here, we have a society that is very entitled. And since COVID, there's been a lot of sloppy and a lot of substandard. And I like to work with businesses that they are playing way above the line. They want to play at 150%. Right. Definitely.
I think this has been amazing. I think we've come a bit full circle here.
Yeah.
One thing I will ask though is I'll ask you a tricky one. What is something, one thing you wish I asked you on this podcast?
One thing that you wish that you'd asked me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. How many cats have you had in your lifetime? You like cats? I've had so many.
Come on, give me that. How many?
One time I had 5. I had 5, and another one came to our house, and she was pregnant, and she gave birth to 6 kittens. We kept 2. Oh, it was wild. If I had a farm, I would have so many. So I love cats. I absolutely love cats.
I was asking.
I don't know. What would you have asked me? Well, I think I would have said, when I said to you that I had hit that 6 figures, because you hear a lot of people throw that around. Oh, I'm a 6-figure, I'm a 7-figure. I say it because I wanted to prove that it is possible in our industry to do it. So I would have maybe asked, how did you do that? What advice would you give to people to hit 6 figures?
So what advice would you give? Let's say I'm an entrepreneur. I'm starting out. Obviously I believe in myself. I've quit that job, and I'm thinking but maybe my mindset is still small. I'm thinking like 2K, 3K a month. What advice would you give me?
Good place to start. I would say the first 2 years are going to be messy. If you can survive 2 years, you're going to be okay, but expect that your revenue is going to be low. If someone says to you, I can help you make 100,000 in the first 2 years, it's just not going to happen. So you got to start, I would say pricing wise, start where you're comfortable, but then every year you've got to inch it up. And once you start to get your clients, really assess who your ideal clients are, because that is one of the biggest keys. That and your pricing is to getting to that revenue. Because you want the people that are going to stick with you, especially in the coaching world. You want the people that are going to stay with you. You want your loyal fans, and sure, they'll stay a year, maybe go on or come back. But, I would say to you that pricing then is also another thing, because once you've identified who your ideal client is after the first couple of years, you're going to price accordingly to the point where, you might charge X amount for a session and someone's going to go, sure. And they won't bat an eyelid. And that's when
Yeah, that's when
you just got to give yourself time, right? Like my coaching style is it's the athlete's journey. you can get to $100,000. I'm not hung up on money. It's not the most important reason why I do what I do, but obviously it puts food on my table and we all need it. And I can help my clients get there, but I'm with the long game. You got to give it time. You've got to give it several years before you get to that, at least 5. And if you don't have the patience for that, then, find another coach.
Definitely. I think that's some amazing, brilliant advice. I can definitely see how you were able to push it through. And I think that's amazing. Let me just end with this. Where can the people, go to find out and learn more about your work?
So you can go to my website, thepinkcoach.com, and you can find out about my work and my programs there. You can check out my book, 7 Seeds of Leadership Mastery, on Amazon, and it's available in all countries. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Claudine Pereira on LinkedIn, The Pink Coach on Facebook, and The Pink Coach on Instagram. And you can link up with me there, and we can carry on the conversation.
Amazing. It's been amazing having you on, Claudine.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you.
You have a lovely day. Hope you move around well in that snow.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Wish me luck. Thanks, Mike.
It's been amazing.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?